Can you feel it when an April decision starts carrying a different weight inside the building? Curious. The clues are piling up in Santa Clara. A rookie drafted earlier than expected is entering the awards conversation. A familiar face is still available on the market, and two quiet competitions could reshape this offense before September. These are not random updates. The roster is showing us where the confidence is, where concern still lingers, and who could take advantage of an opening. Thoughtful. Today, we're reading those behind-the-scenes signals without buying the smoke. Hit like, subscribe to 49ers Express, and let's break down what the Niners are doing. Let's start with the move that caught people around the league off guard on draft night. San Francisco used the 33rd overall pick, its first selection in 2026, on De'Zhaun Stribling. He was only the 6th wide receiver taken, yet CBS Sports had him ranked 19th at the position. That gap explains the reaction across the NFL. Inside Santa Clara, though, it may reveal something far more interesting. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan refused to wait for the consensus to catch up with the player they wanted. CBS Sports analyst Jordan Dajani named the 23-year-old rookie one of his 4 offensive Rookie of the Year sleepers. That does not suddenly make Stribling a favorite, and it does not lock down his place in the rotation. Mike Evans and Ricky Pearsall are projected to start outside, while Christian Kirk should work his way into the mix, most likely from the slot. The path looks crowded on paper, but July depth and real availability over an NFL season are two very different things, especially with this group. Evans played only 8 games last season because of hamstring and collarbone injuries. Pearsall has missed 14 games across his first 2 NFL seasons. Jauan Jennings left in free agency. Put those pieces together, and the Stribling pick no longer looks like a luxury. It starts looking like insurance, succession planning, and a possible accelerator all at once. Nobody has to root for an injury to understand the logic. An opportunity could show up much earlier than the rookie's expected timeline. Shanahan also has real tools to work with. Stribling ran a 4.36-second 40-yard dash at the Combine and has drawn praise for his willingness to block, a detail that carries serious weight in this system because receivers help build the running game. In his final season at Ole Miss, he caught 55 passes for 811 yards and a team-high 6 receiving touchdowns. In the college football playoff quarterfinal upset of Georgia, he delivered 7 catches for 122 yards. The stage got bigger, and his production rose with it. This is the internal read that really grabs me. An offense with Evans, Pearsall, and Kirk does not need Stribling to walk in acting like the savior. He can earn trust through specific packages, use his speed to stretch coverage, contribute without the ball, and force the staff to expand his role. If he does that, the awards talk stops sounding like a creative preseason flyer and starts finding a real path to snaps. Pick number 33 came with conviction. Camp will show us whether that conviction is already ready to appear on the field. Confidence in a rookie also creates a delicate conversation behind closed doors. How much does San Francisco value room for its ascending players? And when does a proven veteran become more valuable? Deebo Samuel remains unsigned after spending 2025 in Washington, keeping the idea of a reunion alive around the 49ers. An idea is all it is right now. No move has been announced. Both sides have a case, and the calculation could change quickly if the receiver room loses stability. KMBR's Larry Krueger believes Deebo would love to return, but he sees why the Niners might resist crowding the room and blocking younger, cheaper players who could deliver more than the veteran did late in his first stint. That concern is legitimate. Stribling needs reps. Pearsall needs continuity. Kirk needs a role. Another major name would affect more than the payroll. It would reshape the touches and development of players who could help this offense for years. Look closer, though, and that apparent depth can fool you. Krueger compared the group to cotton candy. Big at first glance, fragile under inspection. Evans is 33 and coming off an 8-game season. Pearsall has yet to complete a full NFL offseason and has missed significant time over 2 years. Stribling is a rookie. Heading into September, counting names is not enough. How many will actually be available, integrated, and ready for contender-level volume? At 30, Deebo does not need to be sold as a copy of his 2021 All-Pro form. He scored 14 touchdowns that year and was among football's most destructive players. In 2025 with Washington, he played 713 snaps, earned a 69.4 PFF grade, and turned 99 targets into 72 catches, 727 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He averaged 10.1 yards per catch and produced 471 yards after the catch. Those numbers still show a productive player, even if he is no longer dismantling defenses by himself. Grant Cohn has also argued for a reunion, especially if the Brandon Ayuk situation changes and Evans or Pearsall suffers another setback. That is the pivot point. Signing Deebo now could take opportunities from younger players. Waiting preserves flexibility, but risks another team moving first. The fit matters. Shanahan knows how to manufacture his touches. Deebo knows this offense. A faster adjustment would carry real value if a need suddenly emerges during camp. My fanside read is simple. Do not shut the door because of pride or open it because of nostalgia. Lynch should view Deebo as a contingency, not an attempt to recreate 2021. If the group stays healthy and Stribling earns the field, protecting young player reps makes sense. If that depth starts disappearing, the call changes. Experience, familiarity, and creation after contact may matter more than May's plan. A reunion is not officially on the table, but keeping that phone close makes sense. While everyone watches the receivers, the competition that could define this offense sits a few steps in front of Brock Purdy. In a Niners Nation poll asking which camp battle fans most wanted to watch, left guard won clearly. Safety, third linebacker, and fourth receiver matter. So does the race to back up Christian McCaffrey, with Jordan James and Kalen Black expected to handle plenty of August work. None combines this much uncertainty with such immediate impact as the spot between center and left tackle. The 4 candidates arrived through different paths. Rookie Carver Willis represents upside. Connor Colby enters year 2 as a former 7th rounder who knows the building but cannot remain only a developmental prospect. Robert Jones is the veteran, though he owns just 1 season of starting experience. Brett Toth offers mobility and versatility, but he is undersized for the job. You can make a case for each one. You can also find a serious question attached to all 4. This battle cannot be reduced to whoever tops the first depth chart. Shanahan needs someone who can hold the offense's geometry together. The guard sets the timing of runs, reaches blocks on the move, and must keep interior pressure from destroying Purdy's platform. A mistake inside arrives faster than a threat bending off the edge. It shrinks the pocket, blocks the quarterback's vision, and can kill play action before McCaffrey influences the linebackers. There is another layer that usually becomes clear only after the season starts. The player opening at left guard in September may not be the one holding the job in November or December. That could reflect a young player's growth, a technical adjustment, or simply a competition that takes too long to produce a trustworthy answer. For a roster built with January in mind, prolonged instability up front is not a camp footnote. It is the kind of crack opponents study, isolate, and attack on the downs that decide games. The most important clue will not come from a polished quote after practice. Watch the first-team reps, how often someone changes sides, who gets the work in passing situations, and how the staff responds after a mistake. Willis could win on potential. Colby could surprise with his development. Jones could take it through reliability. Toth could become the functional answer nobody projected. The competition is open because none of them own the job before the first padded rep, leaving the ceiling and floor of this offense tied to the same decision. Rookies reporting to camp usually brings excitement, photos, and first impressions. Khalil Dinkins instead hit an unexpected roadblock. The 49ers placed the undrafted tight end on the active/non-football injury list while creating room to sign rookie punter Jack Baumeister. Dinkins' injury has not been disclosed. The active designation keeps him connected to the roster and allows him to return once cleared. But every practice he misses now cuts into the time he has to convince the staff before final cuts. The timing makes it even more sensitive. George Kittle is recovering from the torn Achilles he suffered in January. Jake Tonjes and Luke Farrell appear to be the established options behind him, leaving Dinkins to fight for a spot farther down the depth chart. An undrafted rookie has to build value quickly, understand his assignments, hold up as a blocker, offer something in the passing game, and become useful on special teams. Watching the opening days from the sideline takes away the exact opportunities that potential alone cannot replace. There is no reason to invent a diagnosis when the team has not provided one. There is also no pretending the clock has stopped. Braden Willis and Hayden Rucci should receive longer looks when the veterans report on July 25th. Every extra representative for them is another chance to claim the role Dinkins hoped to pursue. This might be a short, manageable absence. It might cost him more ground. The speed of his return and what he does once he reaches the field will determine which direction the story takes. On the other side of the transaction is Baumeister. Born in Australia, he could not sign immediately after the April draft because of visa issues. His signing suggests that barrier has been cleared, and it adds competition at punter. That connects this update to something bigger than a simple move at the bottom of the roster. Camp is where every margin gets tested, including field position, consistency, and the ability to execute a specialized job under pressure. When a contender opens a roster spot, there is always a message underneath it. Nobody gets to relax just because the calendar still says July. Dinkins' priority is both simple and difficult. Recover at a responsible pace, then return early enough to leave evidence. Rushing his body and making the situation worse helps nobody. Losing the entire evaluation window threatens his outside shot at surviving the cuts. That balance plays out away from the cameras, tracked by coaches, medical staff, and the number of reps going to his competitors. Careers for undrafted players often change direction in those quiet moments. I want this community looking at the board like a war room. Which hidden competition demands the faithful's full attention? Left guard or tight end depth? One could shape Purdy's protection from week 1. The other could become more important while Kittle works his way back from a serious injury. An alert fan does not watch only the player holding the ball. You look for where the roster could become vulnerable before that vulnerability ever reaches the scoreboard. Put all 4 stories together, and you see a front office balancing confidence with precaution. Stribling could validate an aggressive pick. Deebo remains an option if the depth proves deceptive. Left guard needs an answer forged through contact. Dinkins is already racing the clock. None of these decisions gives us a definitive headline today. Every one could reshape this offense once games start demanding availability and execution. That is why camp matters so much in Santa Clara. Stay with us, share this video, and answer in the comments. Which internal situation does John Lynch need to monitor most urgently to protect this season?